President Biden has emphasized that the FBI's claim that the New Orleans terrorist was working alone. Listen.
Today, the FBI briefed me that as of now, we have no information that anyone else is involved in the attack. They've established that the attacker was the same person who planted the explosives in those ice coolers in 2 nearby locations in the French Quarter. We're also continuing to investigate whether or not there's any connection between the New Orleans attack and the explosion in Las Vegas. As of now, they've just been briefed. They have not found any evidence of such a connection thus far. I've directed them to keep looking.
Keep looking. Kiron Skinner joins me now. And Kiron, incoming Borders Tom Homan disagrees. He's convinced there is a connection between the two events. What say you? Is it a coincidence or is there a connection? What do you think?
I think there's irresponsibility in having the president in the Oval Office basically state that there's no connection this quickly, because if you go several layers deep, whether they coordinated or not, these two individuals who invoked terror on Americans, there's a problem about radicalization born of ISIS that we need to talk about, and the president isn't going deeper into what's happened here. This takes us back to his statements early on following the October 7th attack. The administration's view, the Biden administration's public statement was that there was no Iranian involvement in Hamas invading Israel and slaughtering people. Well, we now know that Iran has its fingertips and its hand on the gear with Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. They don't move without Iran. So this worldview that the administration has taken leads the American public in the wrong direction in terms of the facts. So I agree with our emerging border czar, but I'm really concerned about the administration's understanding or lack thereof of the ongoing war on terror. They pulled out of Afghanistan in 2021 and weren't prepared for the chaos that ensued and the loss of life, 13 American servicemen. Not understanding that the global war on terror wasn't over, this wasn't going to bring an end to it, and that the Taliban was ready to take over again. If they couldn't understand Afghanistan and the fallout there, it's difficult for me to accept that they have full command of what just happened in New Orleans and Las Vegas. This is a broader story that they need to talk with us about.
Yes. And you mentioned Afghanistan, Kiron. According to the Washington Post, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan reportedly offered to resign after that botched withdrawal. Do you think he should have resigned?
I don't. I have a lot of sympathy for Jake Sullivan. We held the same job at the State Department as policy planning director. He's a brilliant thinker. He's one that's been interested in big ideas. But I understand the sentiment of offering his resignation because this was an example of being devoid of ideas. He took the position that we can't be in the war forever, so we have to leave. But I think this false binary opposite, or leave or be there forever, was wrong thinking. And I don't believe that the administration has learned a lot since then. And that's why you have President Biden declaring there's no connection between the two incidents in different states, and not emphasizing the problem of radical Islam, of ISIS continuing to radicalize people, and the propaganda that they put forth all over the world. Where's that discussion coming from the president and the White House?
We'll have to leave it there, but terrific stuff. Kiron Skinner, thank you, Kiron, for joining us today on this Friday.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.